I'm Fran Foster, past master of Setauket Lodge. Welcome to our program of what it means to be a Mason. I have with me today the District Deputy for the Brockton 29th Masonic District, Richard T. Austin, and David Hart, the dental advocate for the Mass Dental Association. Today we're going to be talking about the Child Identification Program. You've seen some circulars around. It says CHIP. This is the most comprehensive program in the world. Does anybody know where it really started, the CHIP program?
Well, I'm sure someone knows, but in Massachusetts here, there was a gentleman by the name of Stafford Sheehan, who saw it in another state that it was running and brought it into the state of Mass somewhere around 96, 97.
All right, this will be our 4th year doing it.
Correct.
And we've expanded on it each year. And this year we'll be having the Mass Dental Association working with us, taking tooth prints. Can you explain to our audience something of what the tooth print involves?
Sure. The Massachusetts Dental Society came on board basically because there's so many children nowadays that have perfect teeth due to the advent of fluorides, also with the dental sealants that so many children have, and dental education. There's so many children that literally cavity-free, filling-free, so therefore they're also dental record-free. So in terms of identification, it's much more difficult to identify children than it was 20 years ago. So this thermoplastic wafer was developed to be able to identify children very easily and simply. No two teeth in the world are exactly alike, just like fingerprints. So even identical twins have different tooth prints. And it marks the relationship of the upper teeth to the lower teeth and the width of the jaw. So it's a very exacting replica of what the dentition really is. What the real coup with this program is that we learned recently from the FBI trainer from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children down at National Headquarters is that because we take this tooth print and the saliva on the tooth print when we remove it from a child's mouth, that the saliva also is a legitimate DNA sample. And on top of that, the FBI dogs are now trained to scent trace salivary proteins. So all of a sudden, this tooth print is not only an ID, but it's a scent tracer and it's a DNA sample. When we actually take it, we warm this thermoplastic material up to about 140 degrees, which is kind of warm, but it would not burn any child, and they simply bite into it. After that, we place it in a Ziploc bag and seal it. It's very important that it remains sealed. That way the DNA sample is preserved and also the salivary proteins were preserved. So after it's placed in the bag, we don't want any child playing with it or the parents to touch it. That way it preserves the integrity of the actual sample. So we're very excited about this. Unfortunately, there's over 4,000 Americans right now as we speak that have not been identified, believe it or not, and there's over 30 unsolved cases right here in Massachusetts, which is pretty stunning. So this is the Mass Dental Society's answer to come forward and come to the plate and try to protect our children. The Mass Dental Society has many times, with different programs, come into the community to help out less fortunate and help out with Dental Health Month activities to try to do the very best for the citizens of Massachusetts.
So it is very important that this to be done then for the protection of the children throughout the state.
Absolutely. We hope to do every child in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and this will give maximum peace of mind and the best chance for recovery for a parent.
Now this is sponsored by the Grand Lodge of Masons in Massachusetts and the Prince Hall Masons also.
Correct. And it's also in cooperation with the Massachusetts Dental Society, which has been very supportive, as well as the Mass Crime Prevention Officers Association. Part of this very significant program is to have the children fingerprinted. And most people know about fingerprints and how accurate and unique fingerprints are. No two fingerprints in the world are exactly alike, and just the same as in identical twins. So just like tooth prints, fingerprints are very unique and very diagnostic as far as actually identifying a child.
Now, Rick, the first year you did it, we had, I think we processed over 2,100 children. Last year we processed 1,500 through the tapes. Is there any cost to this?
Yes, there is. We started doing around 600. The program started years ago is strictly videotaping children. And as you well know, throughout Massachusetts and the country, local law enforcement officers were taking snapshots of kids and fingerprinting them. And what was different with this program and why we bought into it through Grand Lodge was the fact that we're catching children on tape. So we see their mannerisms. They can take computer enhancements of these children on the tapes and as they get older. And what we wanted to do is, this is a community service project for Masons to get our name out into the community. And so we decided that we didn't want anybody paying for this service whatsoever. So